نكشها
During full lockdown, Nadine Labaki, the multi-award-winning film director, used her talent to help encourage the Lebanese to change their habits and start to plant their own food on their balconies and in their courtyards. She shared this initiative with families in the Lebanese mountains to where the coronavirus pandemic had forced her to flee with her husband, composer Khaled Mouzanar, and their children.
There are some small ants.
Mama, I want to eat the pancakes first.
Okay.
Can we go?
Let's go.
To the Holy Virgin?
To the Holy Virgin, let's go.
Humans need to believe in something bigger than them. For a while, humans believed that nature was smaller than they were, so they stopped believing in nature. Now we're coming back to the idea and understanding once again that nature is bigger and stronger than us. So we're more inclined to revere nature once more. We're growing 3 things on the land here. We've got olive trees, vines, there are 2 varieties of grapes there, and sumac. It's been very hot. Look, all the olives have fallen. We've already lost half of the vines this year because there was a week of extreme heat. And since they hadn't reached maturity, we had to wait, and we lost half the harvest. But the wine is still quite good this year. I feel connected to the history of the people who have lived on this land over the centuries. A very strong connection. So by taking up wine growing and the methods of wine production and so on, I'm carrying out the same actions that have been carried out for thousands of years. By the Canaanites and the Phoenicians, for example. So I really feel closely connected to history by growing both wine and olives. I don't put barriers between myself and nature. Just like these herbs that grow here, I also grew up here. And I feel good. My DNA feels good on this land. I accept my condition of being a living, breathing animal that was born here and will die here. But I'd like to fertilize this soil and not go elsewhere to fertilize.
In a region of deserts, Lebanon is a green oasis. Mother Nature does not withhold her favors here. She can be very kind as long as humans live in harmony with her, do not mistreat her, or disregard her. The country should no longer be considered the Switzerland of the Middle East. The land stretches out from summer to winter, and the mountains are a refuge for its children.
In places where nature was less favorable, as in the mountains, farmers were forced to be more creative. By using all their know-how to invent terraced farming, by using rainwater to grow crops, which would fulfill the needs of local villages and guarantee their autonomy.
In the heart of the Bekaa Valley, this grocery, next to a monastery, is a clear illustration of the peaceful coexistence between communities. This is what's happening in reality, far away from the religious and political rivalries in Beirut.
We don't care about religions. Here is the church, and we are Muslims of Lebanon, and we care of each other, and we don't care for the politics and religion things. We are a family, and a happy family also. The mountains, especially the mountains country, we make all of the foods of ours is healthy. We take everything from the nature and we make our food here. Yes, it's new for me because before I lived in Beirut. It's a city and we don't have any idea like this. But when I married and I live here, I learned all the things of city is have colors, additives, and we have some high percentage of cancer in Lebanon, and it's from the polluted food. And especially with Corona, too much people they search for the healthy food, and they come to others. And also when they see us do like this, they like this product.
Michel Skaff is the heir of one of the big landowning families which took over at the fall of the Ottoman Empire. Today he is an activist for the preservation of the environment. On the millennial lands, he fights for the conservation of nature and ecotourism as a means to counter climate change and the dwindling of water resources.
Look at those trees over there. European oaks, all of them. They're not local. We also have cedar trees too. This track only used to be accessible for the water source that I'm going to show you. But it was widened in 1982 during the Israeli occupation. And now we use the road for ecotourism. There are some great morning walks to be done. Look how beautiful the mountain is. We're at the end of the season now, and so there's not much water left. Look at all the bullet holes in the door.
So fighting for water in war and peacetime is an old story.
Absolutely. And it's going to get worse, especially as water becomes, unfortunately with global warming, you can see that normally there should be more water here. We're on the border with the desert. If we give up, the desert will take over, and that's a real worry. We want to conduct what we call grassroots diplomacy. This means implementing conservation and showing that conservation has a positive economic and social benefit. It's not just diplomats signing documents who will save water. That sort of diplomacy has never worked. That's all in the past. Louis XIV is long gone. The more we tamper with the environment and look after it badly, the bigger the influx of refugees into Europe.